why humanity is so separate from all possibilities, aka what they like to utilize in these Jewish terms and languages and linguistics, God. So the real reason why humanity is so separate from God is because we are so confined and we're so lost into our own biases. So God can be in front of us, but we'll turn a blind eye. Why I say this because when it comes to the things that we have been governed under and how deep our indoctrinations go and the things that we are just accepting when it comes to the conditions of reality and how we actually be able to gain that structure and comfortability within reality, it gets to the point and it puts all of us in the spectrum of we only cater towards things that we're so comfortable and that we're so familiar with, and things that's presented to us that kind of represents what's lit, what's attention, a specific tension, a point of reference to something for the first time. And when it comes to humanity, how they've been crafting and updating this from ages and ages and years, it kind of puts us in this docile position because don't none of us know how to cater to the things that really is there to benefit us and suit us and help us evolve and grow and expand and contract the universe for all possibilities. So we just cling so much onto the limitations and things that we are so familiar with and things that's easily accessible and easily accessed. So when it comes to all possibilities, or God can be in front of you, but you may not even see it. You may just disrespect or spit in the face of God. Why I say this is because if it doesn't have whatever all possibilities, whatever shape and form that all possibilities is showing you, it's really just trying to test your might. Like Mortal Kombat or those old video games, test your might. So that's all God in the universe wants to do, test your might, to see if you're a strong enough spirit to be able to endure what it has to offer for you. So when it comes to humanity, humanity is so defeated spiritually that nobody has the actual ability and capacity and emotional and mental ability to endure these things because we are afraid of being judged in some facet. So we got to get out of those energies of being judged because when it comes to this physical representation, when it comes to this physical realm and what's physical, you can be a person that has all types of physical insecurities, physical disabilities. But if you're a strong spirit and you know that you're a vessel for God, you can be born into this world with one leg, one arm, blind to one left eye, but have the intellect of what's actually needed for humanity to be able to evolve and expand and contract out of these limited thought forms, these limited feelings that we get so comfortable in. So when it comes to, you know, that individual being an actual representation for all possibilities, that person would get thrown under the bus. People would turn the side eye because humanity is so conformed and so comfortable with their own insecurities and so comfortable with what's actually physical and get illuminated into that light and that illusion that they justify and disregard their actual spiritual natures so they can be able to expand their spiritual natures and be able to rise above this third dimensional frequency and vibration in reality so that other spirits after it that takes these bodies in these shapes and forms can go through that same process, but won't have to go through so much trial and tribulation that we are creating amongst ourselves, upon ourselves. We are putting ourselves in these hellistic mind states. We are putting ourselves in these hellistic vibrations. We are creating these hellistic circumstances for ourselves. So we got to know that. We got to be able to take accountability when it comes to that. So when it comes to all possibilities, or God can be in front of your face, but it may not be how you like it. So we have been so spoiled spiritually, not even spiritually, from things that's not even spiritual when it comes to the eyes of a true spiritual being. These things aren't even, these things are low-hanging fruit types of spiritual natures that they got us lost into to keep us in some form of government or some form of worshiping and fighting amongst each other. Ain't nobody gonna liberate. We can't liberate ourselves if we keep fighting amongst each other and keep clashing when it comes to our men and our women. So this is the real reason why we fail in this hole. But when it comes to us being a spiritual root race, we must have liked this type of, you know, like this type of circumstance for ourselves, because we agreed to these desires to be here. So when it comes to us having to evolve back out of these lower animalistic natures so we can reach a more higher nature for ourselves, this is going to be like us just having to sacrifice everything that we have gained so much comfortability with, and just, you know, doing it our own way, having to do it our own way, even if we don't have no followings, because followings, teachings, all those types of concepts, that's things that the Jewish template used to fuel their program. That's kind of giving them more source. Like a real spirit that's really here just to expand and contract the universe and help others don't care about no types of followings, don't care about who likes it and who doesn't like it. So we got to put ourselves in that space. We got to put ourselves in that position. Even if we aren't receiving any forms of likes and attention, that doesn't matter at the end of the day, because it's all about the type of work that you put in. That's what you're going to get back. So if you're putting in good, esoteric, godly work, then best believe that you're going to get that energy back. But you can't have no type of expectation, because if you have some form of expectation, you're going to be limiting yourself from actually being able to enjoy and be submissive to the experience and submerge into the collective waters that all possibility and God wants you to be in. Because you have so many limitation thoughts and feelings of, if it don't come this way, if it don't look like that, if it's not this shape or form, I don't want it. So that's just us limiting ourselves from being able to experience what we actually need to experience, so we can be able to have the know-how and to be able to lead other peoples to that water so that they can make their own cup, so that people can get out of these competitive energies of competing with each other and trying to get followers and trying to get people to side with them. Because at the end of the day, that's all demonic. That's all something that this world has created that keeps us separate, that keeps us from being actually able to connect on a genuine level. So we got to make sure that we're not getting so lost into these indoctrinations. We got to make sure that we're not getting so lost into this synthetic reality. Now they're trying to push it to make it all virtual. So if you don't have a certain amount of likes on your video, if you don't have a certain amount of views on your video, you're not lit, you're not popping, you're not worth listening to. So this kind of puts the true spiritual people in a tricky position. But at the end of the day, we don't give a fuck about none of that, because we see that all that leads to fueling and giving more energy and giving more life and expanding more of their bullshit that they've been having us lost in, and the things that got us here in the first place, that got us in these competitive energies, that got us competing amongst each other, that got us wanting to, you know, tear each other apart and kill people that look just like us because they got their face on a dollar bill. And at the end of the day, they ain't got to, you know, they ain't got to do nothing but sit back and just watch the world fall, while they can just lay on their bellies all day. So at the end of the day, they're not getting no blood on their hands, but we're the ones going out doing all the killing. We're the ones going out doing all the shooting. We're the ones going out doing all the rioting, things of those natures. So this just gives them the ability to set up a magic square, or just to set up some form of something that just make us emotionally aroused. And because that we're already going down this specific train of thought and line of reasoning as a collective, as humanity, all they got to do is dangle something that puts us, or something that deals with our security, stability, safety, and shelter. All they got to do is dangle one of those, or just put us in some energy of fear that if we lose that, then we ain't gonna have nothing to, you know, fall back on. So what's the point of having a human experience with other humans if they got so much control over all these things that's required for us to be able to live, to be able to operate in this society, and then they could just dangle it in front of us, make us aroused or threaten to take it away from us. Now we don't know what to do. Now we don't know how to come together. Now we don't know how to connect. Now we don't know how to build we don't know how to build for ourselves. You see what I'm saying? So they got all of us wrapped up in some form of, survival energy, but don't nobody know how to survive. It's supposed to be the natural way. It's supposed to be survival of the fittest, but nobody has those instincts being a human. So this is why we can see animals thrive more than actual humanity, because they know how to come together as a pack. They know how to come together in the natural, universal way. We lost sense, we lost touch of that because we're so confined into technology. We're so confined into likes and attention and fashion and luxury. This is all their bullshit that they wanted. If you take this, if it was a restart button and people had nothing but they fucking body and their flesh, nobody wouldn't know what to do. Because looking at these people, everybody would be in some chaotic spirits. Because nobody has structure. Because if you take all this away from a civilization, from a group of people, it's like nobody would know what to do. They'll start killing each other. They'll start, we wouldn't be able to co-create or get back to that natural order, especially if it's not a leader there, especially if it's not somebody that can kind of show us or point us in the right direction. So the direction that they're trying to point us into is all filled with distractions at the end of the day. So they're just making us more distracted. And we've just been so distracted for so long that we don't know how to come together in a natural way like we did when we first created these organs and these bodies for ourselves. So when it comes to, just humanity not really knowing how to connect and why it's so hard for us to connect back to God and all possibilities, is because we're so lost into biases nowadays. So that bias, that belief system that you have, probably is the same reason you're stuck in the position that you're in. Probably it's the same reason you're not getting no respect or validation. Probably it's the same reason people don't want to help you, because if it's not coming in a way or shape and form that you like it, then you may just turn the other cheek and just spit in the face of God. And God is probably presenting that person, place, or thing there to kind of help you. It doesn't matter how the physical look. It's more of a spiritual thing that you need help with, that humanity needs help with. Humanity needs help spiritually more than anything, more than any physical, how any physical person, place, or thing look. This is gonna be the most beautiful person. But spiritually, this person is damaged. Spiritually, this person is toxic. Spiritually, this person is depressed. So they're just utilizing the physical to cover all those things up. So when it comes to how God tries to talk to everybody and how God tries to come to people, it's all about coming together and connecting with people that you can resonate with on a spiritual level. But don't disregard that, because people are so lost into color. It gets deep. People get lost into color. People get lost into religion. People get lost into race. People get lost into all those indoctrinations and denominations that we lose touch with what's actually real. So we can't be losing touch with what's actually real, because we made this for ourselves. We created this reality for ourselves out of thin air. So we have to be the ones to take responsibility of that. And we have to be the ones to be able to come to the terms and agreements and agree upon something that's gonna help humanity and the rest of the people, places, and things that's coming after us, so that the spirits that's coming, that's getting out of this reality, that's getting out of this frequency vibration, and the spirits that's coming into this reality to expand and contract, they'll have the right way, they'll have a know-how, and that'll just be us getting back closer to all possibilities, to God. But yeah, we got to make sure that we're not getting too lost into our biases. And if we do have a bias that we have been so deeply rooted into, At this point, if you're like old is old and you already just like deeply rooted into your bias, you're gonna have to come back and correct that, or you're gonna be put in a position where it's gonna be used against you because God may be trying to come to you in some way, shape, or form, but you're just disregarding how God is trying to come to you. So you're gonna be used to you may be put in a position next lifetime where you're in the opposite position. You're the opposer of all the things that you believed that you was giving life to, that you was separating from. You're gonna have to come back and correct that for yourself. And if you don't, that's gonna be your destruction. And you're just gonna have to deal with that because you may even come to the conclusion of I just don't want to. You may have to come to the conclusion of, you may chalk it up like it ain't possible. You may just limit yourself. That may just be your hell that you're gonna die in forever. But yeah, we gotta make sure that we get out of these biases. We gotta make sure that we expand and rise our comprehension as well. And however God tries to come to you, don't spit in the face of God, because God already don't fuck with humanity like that. Our possibilities don't already fuck with humanity like that. So the little piece of possibilities that we do have, you got to cherish that. We got to value that. We got to take care of that. Even if it comes that you got to separate from everybody, that little piece that God is going to give you at the end, that's something you need. That's artillery that you're going to need for your spaceship, for your next astral travel, for the next light body that you take. So yeah, it's been Hoot 360. Hope you enjoyed this video. Peace.